Hi, I'm Dave Cross. Let's talk about the Westcott Skylux LED lights. I've had the opportunity to work with these lights for a little while now, and I gotta say, there's a lot to like about these lights. First and foremost, I love constant lights because what you see is what you get. You don't have to worry about waiting for a strobe to go off to see if there's any harsh shadows or reflections or things you don't like. This is like, well, it's like working outside with available light that you can control in your studio. So that's pretty cool. Also, as you can see, it's got a very nice form factor. It's very small, it's very self-contained, and it takes any modifier that has the Bowens adapter style. So you can use all the Westcott adapters. I also found, as you'll see later on, a very inexpensive beauty dish that had this same Bowens adapter, so that I can now have an LED beauty dish, which is pretty cool. This baby is 1,000 watts effective light, 5,600 Kelvin temperature, so very nice color balanced, daylight balanced kind of temperature that's, again, great for studio. It's very easy to white balance this just by using it the way it is. As you can see in this case, I've got the power pack hanging on the stand. I actually don't do that often. I did it just so I could show you it, but normally I take advantage of a very, very long cable, which is really nice when you're moving around in the studio and not having to worry about running into cable problems or anything like that. On the back, it just has a very simple control, an on switch and a dial. It goes from 30% power to 100% power, so it's very nice to be able to adjust that on the fly. There's virtually no heat coming out of these at all. I mean, they're cool, so there's no worry. You could have it very close to a model and not worry about any kind of heat problems. It's also great for video. In fact, I'm filming this video with one of the Skylux lights right there to light up the video. There's virtually hardly any sound. The internal fan is so quiet you won't even hear it. I suppose if you had the microphone right up beside it, you might hear it, but in regular video you won't see it at all. So it serves a nice dual purpose of both photography as well as video. Now, as is usually the case when I'm doing these videos, I'm a one-man show here today, so at this point we'll switch and you'll see some behind the scenes. I've got a great model with me today. Juliana's going to be here to do a couple of shots. I'm going to do some headshots and try something a little more dramatic. So I'll probably add a little voiceover afterwards, but let's get started seeing these babies in action. All the shots you're seeing here are straight out of the camera. I deliberately didn't do any kind of editing or retouching, just so you can see the quality right out of the camera. Here you can see the setup a little better, large umbrella on one side and strip box on the other. One of the greatest benefits of using lights like the Skylux lights is there's no recycle time. You don't have to wait for a flash to go off. You don't have to wait for it to recycle. Just keep shooting, and what you see is what you get. Here I've changed the setup slightly, where I've got one of the lights with a grid modifier to try and make more of a spotlight, more of a dramatic effect. And again, this is great because you're seeing it live. You don't have to wait for a flash to go off to see if you like the angle of the light. You adjust it and see the results right away. I also like to shoot tethered in this kind of environment because then I'm taking advantage of not only the live effect of the Skylux lights, but also seeing the results right away on my laptop at a larger size. Now, of course, you can get all the details and specs on fjwestcott.com on the Skylux LED lights. Great for both photo and video photography. I'm Dave Cross. We'll see you next time. So just when you thought the video was over, I wanted to add one more little story for you. I wasn't going to mention this at first, but I thought I would share my woes with you because it turned out to be an advantage. Just before I went to do the photo shoot that you see in the video, my camera, my Nikon D700, got stuck in bracketing mode. Yep, I couldn't turn it off. So no matter what I did, I couldn't really adjust the camera settings the way I wanted to, and the only real option was to shoot in bracketing mode. And that's why in the video you can hear the shutter going multiple times. Now, in a normal strobe-based shooting environment, that would be a real challenge because the strobe just wouldn't be able to keep up with it. But of course, because it's constant light, it doesn't really matter. So in this case, what initially I thought was going to be a real problem turned out to work quite well. In fact, it's kind of a neat idea, the fact that when you're in shooting with constant lights, you do have the option of using bracketing, which is actually kind of cool. So it went from being a potentially negative situation to an interesting benefit I never thought about of using constant lights is the option to shoot in bracketing mode. Hopefully it won't happen to you because your camera just decides to get stuck that way. And yes, my camera is currently in repair to try to fix this problem. But as I said, it is one surprising, nice added benefit of using constant lights is the option if you want to shoot in bracketing mode. Okay, now this is the end of the video. It really is.